Hey, my name's Jonathan Burgess. Welcome to the Big Money Management YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about how much of my IRA should I convert to Roth. So a little bit of context here. If you don't know what a Roth IRA is, or if you don't know how your traditional IRA is going to be taxed, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. So your traditional IRA that you have been growing while you're working is not taxed today. You're deducting income today to grow a nest egg over time. But when you take that money out, you're not going to pay investment tax or long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains tax on that. You're actually going to pay ordinary income tax on that money. So you're going to be taxed at the same rate that you would be if you were working. So it's literally taxed at the highest possible level. So when you look at your types of retirement vehicles, there is an alternative vehicle that exists out there to a traditional IRA. And a traditional IRA is not bad. It's still a great retirement savings vehicle. But a Roth IRA, you pay taxes on the money today, you grow it tax deferred and take it out tax free in the future. Now, this is a hot topic with a lot of my clients because, as you may know, government spending is at an all-time high. So when we look at that and how the government makes money by taxing us, the American taxpayer. So in the future, since government debt and the government deficit has gone up from what the government owes, they're going to have to make up for that somewhere. So more than likely, tax rates will go up in the future, and good thing for you, there is a scenario that exists called a Roth conversion. So you can actually, instead of just being in the scenario where you let that traditional IRA grow, and then when you take the distribution, you're taxed on it, you can actually convert some of that money to Roth today, go ahead and pay taxes on it today in a lower tax rate, and then let it grow tax deferred and take it out tax free in retirement when tax rates are higher. So this is a hot topic. Let's hop right in. So first thing I want to do is walk us through an example. And this is what ends up happening to most people. And we've actually got a video on this retirement tax strategy. We have it out there, and it goes into more depth about how to do what we like to call level out your tax rate over your retirement years, because typically what people will do is they'll let that traditional IRA, the one that's going to be taxed, continue to grow and grow. And then at age 72, you have to start taking what's called RMDs off that money. The government requires you to start taking distributions from that traditional IRA, so that they can start taking some money out. And typically that's going to be at about a 4% distribution that they require you to take. And it goes up each and every year based on your life expectancy, but around 72, give or take, it's about 4%. So let me give you a scenario about what would generally happen with folks if they didn't know about this strategy. So generally, let's say that I have an individual here, and a lot of people, they'll be 62 and they'll have $1 million in their 401k. And I like to use the rule of 72 here, but the rule of 72 states that whatever you're making, if you divide that number into it, that's how long it takes your money to double. So for instance, if we're making 7% on our money, 7% into 7 into 72 is 10 years. So if we're making 7% on our money, by the time we turn 72, we would have $2 million. Well, what typically happens is people during their working years have high taxes, right? Because you can't really control that. That's taxable income. You can't really control it. And then they get to retirement age, our early retirement years. And this is when people typically have their low tax years. So they don't spend down any of that money. They'll go into their tax-free buckets, because you've got a couple different buckets you can take money from. You've got that traditional IRA. You've got non-retirement money. That's going to be like a brokerage account, cash savings, CDs. A brokerage account is simply an investment account that's set up with after-tax dollars. And then you've got Roth money. But whenever people go into retirement, typically what they'll do is they're like, I don't want to pay that tax. So they'll go here and they'll spend this money first. And they'll actually end up delaying and delaying and delaying, taking some of this money out. And let's say they need $40,000 a year to live off of. Well, they might take their $40,000 a year from their Roth. And then whenever it comes time and this has now grown to $2 million and they got to take that 4% distribution, they've got $80,000 coming from this one bucket. And then up to 85% of your Social Security is also taxable. So they've got the $80,000 here that's going to be taxed, along with about $80,000 or 85% of their Social Security. So now they're making over $100,000 a year and just getting killed in taxes. And this is typically how people would do it. So when you look at this and you really see the whole scenario, you have some time and you shouldn't be afraid to, you can actually go ahead and convert some of this traditional IRA money today and then take the money out in the future income tax free. And so I want to give you some context on why it might be pertinent for you to go ahead and do that. And so let's look here at the 2021 income tax bracket. So I want to walk us through a really quick example here. Let's say that we're working with a couple who makes $250,000 per year of income, $250K in income. Okay, so the reason that I'm bringing up the 2021 tax table compared to the 2017 tax table is because we have from here to 2026, beginning of 2026 is when Trump's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act will be gone. So the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act will be gone and will revert back. If nothing changes, we'll at least revert back here, but it could be higher. So let's go into this example. We've got a couple here who makes $250,000 a year. So they would be in the 24% tax bracket. So they're going to be here. So notice how it's 172,000 to 329,850. That's today. This is 2021. So they can make up to $329,000, and then after that, they're bumped into the 32% tax bracket. Well, here, if they made the $250,000, they would effectively be in the 33% tax bracket. So you can see the delta there between, if we revert back to these, and I believe we will at least go here, if not higher, when we revert back to these, tax rates are probably going to be higher in the future. So you might be wondering, well, how much do I convert? You may be in that example where you are 62, you're a high W-2 income earner, you and your spouse, and you're like, okay, Jonathan, well, let's convert the million. And I would be like, whoa, pump the brakes a little bit. You can do that. But if you do that, you're literally going to tap yourself out at the 37% tax bracket on the rest, any money over $628,000 if you had the million. So, and two, something to keep in mind here, all of these tax rates are marginal, meaning that you're not, if you tap into that level of income, you do not pay that tax on all of your income. You just pay tax on everything above that income. So the answer to the question in the video is really this. Whatever you can go up to not knock yourself into the next marginal tax rate is really what you would want to convert. So here in this example, it's $329,850. So let's just call it $330K is the next tax rate change. So at that level is when you would experience the tax change. So it would not be a bad idea to go in and convert 80,000 because you will butt yourself right up to that income level. So you could go in there and do that. Now, if you're aggressive and you wanted to go in and you wanted to convert all of your money, you're like, I have no idea. what this thing's going to go to. I have a feeling it's not going to be good, and I want to convert all my money. You would want to aim to do it by 2026, because if you do it by 2026, you would effectively have them all done over a 5-year period. So you could convert, if you were in that $1 million example, you could start this year converting $200,000 a year. That's also assuming no growth on that money, which you would see growth on it, depending on where you're at, if you have a good advisor. So here, then you would want to, make those conversions. You don't have to convert the whole amount before then. So that's also something to keep in mind there. And two, if you went over, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing that you were converting some in 2026. It's not going to go away. So I hope this helped. If you have any questions about Roth conversions, what amount you think you should convert, reach out to us. Go to our website, bigmoneymanagement.com. You can literally enter your information, have an advisor reach out to you if you're wondering what it would look like for you to convert some of your Roth money. But I think at the end of the day, where's the big money? The big money is tax-free. It's always tax-free. So if you like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd love to see you back here. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. See you on the next one.